Thanks, Reese. Okay, so I think I've been introduced, so I don't need to do that. Dive a bit deeper into the Clash workflow and hopefully deliver a live demo. Okay, so as Reese has already described, we call ourselves an integrated collaboration platform. These are some of our customers. Obviously, a couple of these have presented already this morning. We're global. We work with contractors, designers, engineers, facilities managers, and we're very proud to have some of these names up here. But yeah, it shows you some of the big firms that we work with globally. Another thing to mention is interoperability. Not an easy word to say. We don't rely on just one type of software to work with Revizto. One of our strengths is the fact that you can throw pretty much anything into the software, all of the Autodesk stuff, all of the Bentley stuff, and everything in between. Tekla. We also support point clouds natively, meaning you can actually throw an RCP directly into Revizto. So there are very, very few projects that I've come across that I've been involved with that struggle to actually get the information that's been produced from the software into our platform. So that is a really a key point to make. On the Clash automation, a few things to sort of mention here. So it is an all-in-one workflow. That was described nicely by Ian. What's an all-in-one workflow? It means that everything's in the same platform. You don't need to be jumping around, into between too many softwares to actually carry out and make those workflows successful. It's collaborative. Again, what does that mean? It means that multiple people can actually manage the Clash workflow in the same project at the same time. And you can very much control who has access to what, so it's not a free-for-all, but I don't think there are any other platforms out there that allow that collaboration, real-time collaboration by as many people that need to be involved. Model federation and coordination. We accept models, as I've already mentioned, directly from softwares, so that's really useful. We've got the filters, which I will hopefully demonstrate when I come across to my live demo, and the grouping tool, which is one of the big things why the Clash tool is so successful, having that built into the same tool that you're running the Clash detection and then creating those issues. So now for the live demo, I just need to swap my laptops over. Okay, can we see that, guys? Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry, that was a delay. Thank you. Okay, so here we have a building project, and I'm going to try and run 2 Clash tests in different projects just to show you the flexibility and the fact that Revizto is truly a platform across multiple sectors. So I'm going to create a new test here. Okay, so I'm going to take a search set from my list. I'm actually going to take a whole model, so I'm going to take the whole of the structural model and the electrical, fire, mechanical, and sanitary models. So this might seem, for those of you who actually have done this process, a bit of a strange way to run clash detection, taking this much information and clashing whole models against whole models, but using the intelligent grouping tools and filters within Revizto, you're actually able to do that. So this is just enabling me to bring in the settings from other tests that I've created previously. I'm not going to do that in this case. This is just allowing me to ignore certain clashes if I wanted to. So you could, for example, say I want to ignore all of the mechanical equipment from this test because that section or part of the design isn't ready. So it's quite useful. I'm not going to bother doing that. We have various clashing types. So the hard, clearance, and tolerance, most people will be used to, but we do have an additional flexibility of specifying a different value for the horizontal and the vertical, for example, in clearances, and the same for tolerances. And also, you're able to check things directly above or below certain objects. So, for example, if I wanted to find a duct or any duct that's within 2 meters of a floor slab, for example, you can actually run that test and do that. So I'm going to stick to hard clash. And now we have the grouping. So by default, you can group by proximity, and then it's set to 15 meters. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to actually group by level and also room. So this is a building project. So to be able to group by level and then room is obviously going to be really useful. So I'm going to stick with that. If you wanted to combine additional grouping tools, you could, and there's not enough time to go through all of these options, but it's very, very flexible, and it's going to work for pretty much any workflow. This is part of the Clash tool that allows you to assign a predefined stamp, essentially. We call them stamps. So I'm going to find my stamp for mechanical, electrical, and public health. So when I create an issue from the clash, or from whichever clashes I want to, this issue will be assigned automatically to Reese. So Reese has not got enough to do, so I'm going to give him a bit extra work here and assign some issues for him to fix. However, there's an additional functionality here, which is we call advanced automation. So this is where it gets quite clever, because we can actually add a condition to the clashes once I send them to the issue tracker. So I'm going to select another search set, and I'm going to select the, where are we, cable trays. So I'm going to call this cable trays. So my mouse is sliding all over the place. And I'm going to select a stamp for that condition. So what this means is, and I'll just read that so it's a bit clearer. So condition cable trays, if clash group has at least one object matching search set cable trays, then that clash will get assigned to Ash, because Ash is looking after the electrical package as part of the MEP. So you can actually predefine who gets what assigned to them, and you can add as many conditions as possible as you like. So you can essentially automate completely, or almost completely, your clash detection workflow. And all you need to do once you set this up is click Run Clash Detection, and you're going to do a lot of the work for you. So I'm going to finish this, and I'm now going to run. Just going to drag this across a little bit. So I'm going to run this. So, this is always a bit dangerous, running a live demonstration and relying on my, internet connection to actually run this clash test. But you can see how fast the clash is actually being picked up. Now, I haven't seen any other platform out there that is as fast as that. So you can see quite clearly there, well over 11,000 clashes have been picked up, and they've been grouped into over 1,200 groups. So that's fast. That's very fast by any stretch of the imagination. So here we have our results. We have, if I just select one of the clashes there, that's a fairly typical clash sort of view that people are used to, but there's quite a lot of information in here. Even though over 11,000 clashes have been reduced to 1,200 or so problems, there's still 1,200 problems. So today, for the coordination session we're having, I only want to look at a particular level. So we're looking at level 6 today. So here are my clashes from level 6, and you can select those easily, and you can see what's going on. I can further filter by a lot of these different options. So if I turn on my room filter, I can go into a room. Let's just type in the word plant. And I'm going to select all of those, get rid of the level there. So it's very, very flexible, and you can get to the things you're interested in quite quickly. I'm going to check this clash test out now, and I'm actually going to assign a couple of clashes to a couple of people. So you go through, and you need to filter the results. You still need, there's still an element of manual exercise of actually deciding what's an issue and what isn't. I could obviously, of course, set my clash test to a tolerance, so I could only filter out or run clashes that are clashing, for example, more than 100 millimeters. But yeah, in this case, I haven't done that. So I'm going to filter the search set here, cable trays, just to show you how that automation works. So I'm filtering all of my clashes from the results now by anything that's basically affecting a cable tray. So I'm going to mark that as reviewed. I can also mark stuff as approved. If it's approved, you decide that it's not actually a problem. So I'm now going to sync those clashes with the issue tracker. What that's going to do is sync or send those clashes that I've reviewed to the issue tracker, and then now in the issue tracker, you can start using all of the features within the issue tracker itself for following and progressing those and tracking, the problem. If I go and just filter by status here, so these issues have been sent to the issue tracker, but you can see because I set up that automation, one has been assigned to Reese and the one affecting the cable trays has been assigned to Ash, and I can go straight to the issue tracker from there, and you can start to comment and look at how you're going to fix that. So how am I doing for time? I've got about 5 minutes. So I wanted to show you another project type. So this is really important for us, the fact that Revizto can be used not just for building projects, but also for linear, large civil projects that are very, very, kilometers across. And the filtering and the grouping starts to change slightly. So I'm going to create another test here, and I'll try and do this quickly. I'm just going to call this demo for now, for the sake of time. So I'm going to take the bridges, for example, and then the drainage. I'll just skip through some of these because I've already shown you them once. But the grouping, I'm going to assign a different grouping strategy here. I'm going to group by grid intersection and zone. So civil projects generally don't have rooms in them or even levels that are useful. So the holy grail for them is to group these clashes by the grid intersection or chainage, as anyone from that industry will recognize the term. That's basically their grids. And then the zones, I've set up some zones which are splitting the site into zones, which you can do for building projects as well, which Ian mentioned that they're using. So again, I've run this test. If I open this up, you've got those individual clashes grouped by first the grid intersection, southbound carriageway in this case, and 1650, which is the grids that go the other way, not a very technical term, and then zone A2. So yeah, that's pretty much how that works. I think I'm probably ahead of time here, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just jumping back into the building project, and Reese has asked me to take a look at a particular issue to demonstrate, hopefully, how the person who is assigned that issue is going to be responding to the thing that he's been assigned. 12953. So you can see here, within the issue tracker itself, it's very, very easy to get to the issue that you're interested in. I can talk about filters if I've got a bit of time, but I've just filtered this one issue that Reese has been assigned, and you can see here Reese is already in real time responding to that. So he's saying, got it. He's changed the status from open to in progress. So I'm not having to guess what he's done. That's all being audited and recorded within the issue itself. He's saying, we'll review shortly. I'm going to, there is a deadline in here already. This, I want this to be, we can't wait until the 22nd. I'm going to say, you have to do this by tomorrow, and I can sort of, type in here. So all of that's happening in real time. Reese is going to get that comment, that I've just sent over, and this clash as well to give you some visibility on the ways in which you can visualize this clash. So when you create any issue, including a clash in Revizto, you have a screenshot basically gets taken of the model, the image. But I can come back into 3D. I can have a look at what's going on in here. I can also go back to 2D. And this is really, really powerful as well. Even though this issue, which was a clash, was created in the 3D space, any 2D drawing that occupies that same space, you'll be able to see, where that issue is, and you can even overlay it. Sorry, that's my mouse. Yep.
I'm just going to jump in with Peter here. So 2 things on that was, whilst I've been sat in the audience, I've been using my iPad, so because I can't use any of these fancy tools everyone's been talking about today. So you're coming back to that earlier point around interoperability, and more importantly, I think, is usability, is giving access to the wider team so they all get the opportunity at touchpoint to ask questions, communicate, and as Peter said, I've received that information, that clash on my tablet, so I can start to respond and communicate. And then just one more thing, Peter, we'll maybe just show the camera share. So and then we'll start the panel discussion.
Okay.
So I'll start that with you.
The glass isn't liking my mouse, unfortunately. Okay. Yep. So what Reese has just done is he's asked me on my session of Revizto on this PC whether I would like to see his camera on his device. So this is a method where you can be in, different locations around the world, and somebody says, "Oh, I want to show you, something in this ceiling void," and I'll say, "Okay, show me where it is," and he's doing that as we can see. So we're actually seeing Reese's iPad screen on my PC. Okay. Yep. So thanks everybody. So,
yes. So thank you, Peter.
Okay, thank you.
We just had a question from the audience. Love it. A little louder, and I'll repeat it. What was that?
I was asking if that screen sharing was native to Revizto.
So that's our camera share function in Revizto, which I think somebody referred to it, one of our clients, as a golden oldie. I think they're referring to Peter, not myself. But we brought that one back. So there were a couple of changes as we moved the platform from version 4 to 5. Definitely a feature a lot of people used during the pandemic to be able to hop on and look at somebody's screen in real time. So yeah, just another really useful part of the application inbuilt. So I'd like to invite all of our speakers now onto the back up on stage for our panel discussion. So I've seen lots of comments on the app itself. So if you do have any questions